Welcome to Music Theory Lesson 5. We continue with our discussion about intervals. Last time we talked about the general interval. Today we're going to talk about the specific interval. Here's our final goal. We're going to try to label an interval between two notes. It will look something like this: major, third. Last time we figured out how to get the 3, the third, and today we're going to figure out how to get this first portion of this label. So we're going to take a look over here. You'll notice I've switched things up to the bass clef to give us a chance to practice with the other clef. So we have a C and a D, and a C and a D flat. C, D, C, and D flat. They're both the interval of a second. But one of them is a whole step, one of them is a half step. So there's another name for a half step, and we're going to call it a minor second. Minor with a small m, and the other one will be major second. And this is how we're going to move forward with labeling the intervals. And that is, we're going to we're going to count how many half steps are involved in each one. So we'll list minor second and then a major second. It's going to be 1 half step. So we're counting the half steps on the right here. There are 2 half steps in the major second. So let's take a look over here. If we go from C to E flat, 1, 2, 3 half steps. And by the way, I should say, when we were talking about the general interval, you will count the bottom note. So 1, 2, 3. That gives us the third. When you're finding this part, you don't count the first spot. So if we're relating these notes to the keyboard, we start on C, we go to E flat, which is right here. We don't count 1, 2, 3, 4. We count 1, 2, 3 half steps. Remember, 2 half steps went to here, went to the D, which was a major second. 3 half steps went to here. This is going to be called a minor third. So what interval has 4 half steps? 1, 2, 3, 4 from C to E. Well, it's E natural, which just clarifies that it's not an E flat. 4 half steps, we're going to call that major third. Notice how I'm making my labels. It's very clear that this is a capital M and a lowercase m for the minor. Now we get to the one with 5 half steps here. C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, C to F. Now there's no major fourth, there's no minor fourth, there's only a perfect fourth. We'll talk about that at some point in the future. And now to get to the interval that has 6 half steps. So we start on C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got to F sharp. We're going to call that augmented fourth. So there's a new word here. So 1 half step more than a perfect will be called augmented. We'll deal with this other kind of label more in the future, but for now we're just going to put augmented fourth as 6 half steps. Now we could have spelled that a different way. What if this were a G flat? Now we have a fifth. And that's going to be called a diminished fifth. It's also 6 half steps. We'll talk about augmented and diminished more later on. Now I'm going to erase this over here so I can continue the rest. I have 7 half steps. That's going to be my perfect fifth. So if there's C goes to G, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 half steps. Has to be spelled as a fifth. Now I want 8 half steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I get this G sharp, but I can't really spell it like this because that's a fifth. And so I'm going to have to change this to the other name of that note right there. Not a G sharp, but an A flat. Gives me 8 half steps. It's called a minor sixth. C to A will be the major sixth. That's going to be one more half step. 9. Almost done. C, D flat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Gives us 10 half steps. Minor 7. C to B natural. That's going to be major 7, which is 11 half steps. And 12 half steps will be from C all the way to C. We'll call that perfect octave. That's all the intervals that we'll talk about now. And we will do some extra interval exercises in the next lesson.